Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. It's Tuesday, which means it's New Comic Book Day in bookstores. That's alright. Comics have already been released in comic book shops, and they're now making their ways to bookstores like Barnes & Noble and Amazon, stuff like that. So I got one in my hands. DC hooked us up with DC's Young Animal, Shade, The Changing Girls, Volume 2 of the series. Little Runaway collects issues 7 through 12 by Cecil, Castellucci, artists Marley, Zarcone, Ande Parks, and Marguerite Sauvage. It's the latest chapter in the reimagining of the classic character Shade. Yeah, so it's an interesting story. Like, basically, Shade, Loma is basically on the run at this point, really going to explore the United States, kind of done dealing with the drama that is high school. And yeah, it's basically ditching the hellish nightmare that is high school and going to check out the hellish nightmare that is the United States. So it's a cross-country road trip that's really, really interesting. I liked it a lot. There was some really interesting stuff in it. I think it reads better as a trade than individual issues. I've really been trying to read the DC's Young Animals individual issues, and none of them were quite clicking for me as far as that. I'm enjoying them more in trade. And the story itself is fascinating. Like, there's some interesting observations. We get to see her like really messing with the United States and twisting things around and kind of playing with the American dream somewhat, which fits Shade really, really well. So I think that aspects are really good. So the story is fascinating. I kind of wish it did a little bit more of maybe observations about the United States, of like an alien visiting the United States. What really would they observe? This is a lot of Shade trying to reach a certain goal and dealing with various things that get in her way. So, it would have been a little bit more interesting of, like, what would an alien think of, Hollywood or Texas or Gotham or whatever. So there's some of that, but not tons of it. So I wish there was a little bit more of that. But the thing that really stands out is the art. I think the art is trippy and amazing and really, really cool. Let's try to... Like, we've got stuff like that. There's tons of two-page spreads, and it's just crazy in what's done. The coloring is fantastic. It's just a very trippy, interesting, visually very interesting, and I think it does a lot with, like, colors and playing around with the background as far as color. So if you're going to really get it, I think the thing that I really like the most out of it is the art. The art is, I think, fantastic, especially the color, and the color stands out so much. So overall, like, if you like the first volume, you're probably going to like the second volume if you haven't read it yet. As far as extras, we got covers. We got all the various covers and some variants that are in here as well. There's variants somewhere in here. Yeah, we got cover. We got cover. And there's some extra stories as well that I don't know if were in the single issues or not, because I didn't really read all the single issues. There's also a little bit of a who's who for the DC's Young Animal. So overall, like, if you really dug DC's Young Animal, I think this reads better as a trade than did single issues. I kind of recommend it. It's a very different series. It's very, very different read. $16.99 for all those issues. Visually amazing. The coloring is fantastic, and I think that kind of, like, really stands out to me. You can go get this in bookstores today, and it's already in comic shops. So go support your comic shops first and foremost. We got a link underneath. You put in your zip code. It'll tell you if a shop's near you. If there's no shop near you, then you can go through our affiliate links. Our affiliate links are affiliate links, so we get a small percentage of that. But by doing that, you help support our site. I want to always thank you for watching, and thank you, DC Comics, for hooking us up with this trade, and always the review copies that you hook us up with. It's much appreciated. So yeah, I mean, basically this gives a lot more info of the history of Loma and her background, and it's kind of an interesting travel across America, and where things kind of end up in the end is a bit fascinating. So yeah, it's trippy. I feel like I should have dropped acid while reading it. That would have made things really fascinating. So you can go get this in shops today. As always, if you're into comics, if you're into DC Comics, if you're into DC's Young Animal, you can hook us up every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We got tons of news, reviews, interviews, and more. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Tumblr, pretty much everything at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. As always, thank you for watching. Until next time, keep reading those comics and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.